The Industrial Revolution changed society both socially and economically in the urban and rural areas. Before the Industrial Revolution, everything was made manually by one person. New efficient machinery led to mass immigration to the cities. The new techniques developed throughout the revolution speeded the production and the quantity of an item. Life in the industrial times was difficult for the farmers to maintain their land, for women to care for their household and provide for their family, and later on, it was hard to keep their job in a factory. The Industrial Revolution changed rural areas because the textile industry put the cotton gin industry out of business and led to mass urbanization, whereas in urban areas, people developed more efficient ways to produce items, but the economy drowned because of the poor wages and working conditions.
In the beginning of the 18th century, the majority of the population in Europe were farmers. Farmers were beginning to improve their equipment and farming techniques. For example, the cotton gin, the plow, and crop rotation, which all helped increase the simplicity of farming. Farmers benefited from the innovative strategies of farming. The cotton gin helped separate cotton. The plow was able to dig deep into the soil and helped prepare the plant to grow. And lastly, crop rotation helped resupply nutrients to the soil. Later on, only the wealthy could afford to use this expensive equipment. Furthermore, at the same time, the textile industry was thriving. Job opportunities in the city led to mass urbanization, which attracted many of the smaller farmers that could not provide for their family because they could not compete with the enclosures of the rich farmers.
The urban areas began with skilled workers who produced products for high wages. The invention of the spinning jenny and spinning mule combined to create a quality machine with a higher production rate called the power loom. The new machinery made the textile industry very popular and attracted farmers who had trouble competing with the wealthier landowners. Furthermore, new strategic ways of forming everyday items was in an assembly line, which allowed production in substantial quantities. The conditions of a factory were very poor with dangerous machines, crowded with workspace, and an unnatural climate. Air pollution, trash streets, and noise pollution filled the air of the city.
Soon, the factory owners figured that any worker could continually put the same piece on any item. The factory owners went to the unskilled workers because they demanded a lower pay. This led to the women and children working for the factories. Women worked very hard to support a family. Their main duties were raising their children and maintaining the household, all while working many hours a day in a factory. They earned 1/3 the income of a man doing the same job. In addition, children began working in factories as early as 6 years old. The average 10-year-old worked 60 hours a day from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m., with only a 48-minute break. Working in the factories was a brutal and dangerous lifestyle.
New machines created throughout the Industrial Revolution were water-powered. Water mills were produced to allow machines to run for as long as they want without the need for manpower. The owners of a mill saved money because they did not have to pay anyone for cranking a wheel or turning a lever. The mills were very efficient and were worth the price in the long run. As a result, people lost their jobs and were forced to the streets with nowhere to go. This sparked strikes from people who lost their jobs. These unemployed workers tried to encourage others to leave the factory to show the owners what it would be like without them. For example, the Luddite Rebellion was a famous strike in which was started by a group of people called the Luddites. The Luddites broke and destroyed the machines that were taking their jobs because of their anger, and they wanted their jobs back. Although the Luddite Rebellion was not successful, it did let the factory owners know the crisis that was taking place and influenced others during that time period to rebel. Thank you.